Over the years, Uganda's debt has been rising steadily at 2% of its gross domestic product, which is an annual measure for determining the country's economic performance. In 2014, Uganda recorded a national debt of 33.26% GDP. The figure in question was said to rise to 35% in 2015 as the government embarked on a series of new projects. However, World Bank's latest statistics of 2013 show that Uganda's external debt was at 13.7 trillion shillings, while some statistics indicate that Uganda's external and domestic debt is growing at 2% points of the GDP every year. In 2014, a report from the Parliamentary Committee on National Economy revealed that Uganda's debt had risen to 14.5 trillion shillings, sparking outrage from opposition politicians. The projection, however, puts Uganda among the highly indebted countries with a worrying external debt, raising concerns on the country's capacity to pay back.
These shillings 18,665.7 billion is external debt, which is equivalent to $5,382.9 million.
Even with this debt budget, the Uganda government still insists on borrowing more for economic investments.
I have to borrow. You should question whether when I have borrowed this money, it's put to good use. I can't. We are not overborrowing. We are still within limits. Very excellent. And we look forward when we also begin to borrow to do our standard gauge railway. Government will therefore borrow in the future for highly productive fixed capital investments that can generate positive financial and economic returns.
Though not shaken, current projections are that Uganda's external debt will likely grow by 4.5 trillion shillings next financial year, now that proposals from the Finance Ministry have been factored in. This is in addition to another 1.5 trillion shillings which the government intends to borrow domestically. However, the regime is hopeful that the debt will be manageable.
This ratio, listen to this, is far below the public debt management framework threshold for sustainability and the East African Community Monetary Unit convergence criteria of 50%. Yes, Honorable Sedoko, you should clap for yourself on this. These benchmarks show that our public debt remains sustainable over a long period in the future.
Although we are borrowing, we are very much within the safety borrowing parameters, because our borrowing now has gone to 30%. The danger point is if you go to 50%.
While this bulging debt is a major concern here in Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania have the biggest external debts in the region. Their large economies are an indication that they have the capacity to pay back. At more than 14 trillion shillings, Uganda's debt may seem abstract. Analysts have contended that if left unattended to, the rapidly bulging figure has the potential to affect the daily survival of Ugandans. But all there in the plans are the National Treasury of scaling down the bulging debt burden.
Government will continue to implement appropriate fiscal and monetary policies to ensure macroeconomic stability. In the medium term, we will prioritize the reduction of the trade deficit by increasing our revenue from exports through value addition to our primary commodities, harnessing the strategy and tapped tourism potential, and continuing to attract foreign direct investment.
Unfortunately, we have not been able to pay this money. So what we have been doing, because the people who lend us this money, like the NSSF, do not need this money immediately. So what we do is to pay interest on this money, but roll over the debt in future years. And this is the money that continues to appear in the budget.
In March 2015, core inflation, which measures the changes in prices of goods and services, rose to 3.7% for the year ending March 2015, compared to 3.3% were registered.
Has remained stable and in single digits as planned. Annual headline inflation was recorded at 5.4 in May 2016. However, inflation peaked at 8.5% in December 2015 due to the pass-through effects of the sharp weakening of the Uganda shilling against the dollar. This also caused an increase in prices, including electricity tariffs, which adversely affected both the manufacturers and the domestic consumers. However,
since the year, the shillings has been struggling against the dollar, hitting a high of 3,067 shillings and averaging at 2,990 shillings. Timothy Sibasi, Television, Kampala.